Welcome back to Crit and Crit. I'm Axion,
I'm Scint.
and we are continuing our playthrough of Undertale and our discussion of Mossflower by Brian Jacques.
Yep, last time we talked about the plot. Let's talk about something else this time. How about something that's in the plot of, like, almost every other Redwall book?
That Martin is awesome.
Well, you'd think that, and he kind of sort of is, but not exactly the way he appears later. I mean, would you say that Martin fits the bill of a mythical hero?
He is definitely an extremely capable warrior in this story. That said, he's also a very, for lack of a better word, human one.
But that part always gets left out, but that's honestly how a lot of things go with regards to history and myth. You don't talk about what made someone mortal. You talk about what made them larger than life. Or in the case of most people on Redwall, you don't talk about Martin at all, you just wait for his ghost to tell you what to do. But yeah, this is kind of a sort of a, we're not really breaking the pedestal, but we are definitely pointing out that the pedestal has not been kept in pristine condition. Because Martin is not a bad character, but he's also not just this strange figure of infinite wisdom that future Redwall will see him as.
Yep, he's not a mythical hero. He's just a person.
Yep, and that honestly I think makes him a lot more interesting, because that's just how characterization works. But think about how well that would go down with a lot of other things, which we can talk about more later, because Martin, as we see him, like, he's wandering alone, with a very beat-up, rusty old sword, doesn't really know where he is, doesn't really have any plans for where he's going, he's just kind of aimlessly moving through the world because he doesn't know what else to do with himself. And he mentions companions he's had in the past, but something has happened because they're not there now. So he's also, by this indication, not the most successful hero, because, well, there are people he clearly couldn't save. And that tends to weigh on a person. And it clearly seems to be showing on him, because I believe he's first described as being kind of tired.
Yep, when he's in the prison with Gonf, he's just kind of beat. He's confident that he's going to escape, but he's just very tired, very frustrated.
Oh, actually, I disagree. I don't think he thinks he's going to escape, because as he puts it, so all he can hear from inside the jail is that Gingivir's being jailed and Zarmina is now queen, so there goes any chance of mercy in his sentencing. But shoving his ears against the sound of the revelers, Martin lay upon the straw with the sword handle pressing against his chest. Now that his last hopes were gone, it looked like being a long, hard winter.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of defeated. And that's how we start the story. He gets better, but he's a far cry from this brave and almost angelic, divine figure that the future generations of Redwall will see him as. But as we mentioned, this doesn't make him a bad character, even a bad hero. He's just mortal.
Yep, he's just a person.
Yep, he doesn't really seem to even put much stock in prophecy, which is really, really ironic, all things considered, you know?
Yep. He outright tells
Boar.
that he's going to ignore what he implies to him without ever actually telling him directly. The prophecy says, and defies him.
I have seen my fate, and I will go to it. Yeah, you can do that all you want. I'm going to it with you. So you're not going by yourself. I don't care what your prophecy says. Yeah, Martin is a good person. He's just, not perfect.
Yep.
And this is where I'm going to segue into another episode of Scint Talks About Musicals.
Yay!
Do you want to guess which one?
Is it Into the Woods again?
Nope. I think it'll be really obvious in hindsight, but it's not one I usually talk about.
I'm drawing a blank.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
You know what? That makes sense.
So, okay, for those not familiar, as it suggests, Jesus Christ Superstar is about the life and, the passion of Jesus Christ, and it ends with his crucifixion. But it's controversial among some religious circles, as I recall. I remember when I was a kid, some people I knew straight up called it sacrilegious.
Yep.
Why? It's going through everything exactly. And I honestly really like it because it makes this figure more human. And I remember when I was a kid, well, didn't you always tell me when I was in religion class that the whole point of Jesus is that he's both God and man? Why do we not want to talk about the man part? Okay, the man aspect, I realized how that sounded. Shut up. But yeah, honestly, that is really what comes to mind here, because you cannot convince me that Martin in future Redwall is not supposed to be seen as a Christ figure.
Oh, he absolutely is. We've talked about this in prior things.
And Mossflower is our Jesus Christ Superstar, and I'm just going to go straight into Gethsemane here. Then I was inspired. Now I'm sad and tired. Listen, surely I've exceeded expectations. Could you ask as much from any other man? Why should I die? Can you show me now that I would not be killed in vain? Show me just a little of your omnipresent brain. Show me there's a reason for your wanting me to die. You're far too keen on where and how, and not so hot on why. I mean, let's be honest, the other reason that Jesus Christ Superstar is controversial is because it's written by Andrew Lloyd Webber, who is, at best, very hit and miss.
I mean, yeah.
I actually like a lot of the music in Superstar. Gethsemane is just great, especially if you've heard Colm Wilkinson's cover of it. But then again, I just like Colm Wilkinson because he's OG Valjean.
That's fair.
But yeah, this is very much we're gonna go back to the myth, and we're gonna show him, he's just a person who did some very good stuff and did his best, but just a person nonetheless. Pedestals can be very dangerous. Historically, we do this a lot with people. We put we put founders on a pedestal, and we cannot acknowledge any sort of human flaw in them. People get really upset when you do that, I've noticed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So today's episode will also talk about all of Jefferson's unofficial children. Never mind, not going there. Not going there.
Dear. Oh, dear.
Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that with Martin. Maybe one day we'll get into the book that explains why we don't have to worry about that with Martin. It'll just be more talking about Jesus Christ Superstar, probably, but I don't really know where else I was going with this.
I think that's a pretty solid sum up. Unless you have something else you want to turn the conversation towards?
If anything, I was probably just going to start talking about other songs from the musical, which is just off topic as heck, so let's just end it here. So let's end this video now before I change my mind. Oh wait, I went back into the lyrics again.
I mean, it is fitting that we got derailed on a massive tangent about Broadway shows during, of all places, the Mettaton fight.
You know, I didn't think of that. That is great. So yeah, on that note, exit stage right.
See y'all next time.